And the intuition is like a muscle as well. It's like the more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Yeah.
And the more you suppress it, the weaker it gets. Do you know what I mean? It's like a muscle. If you don't use it, it gets weak.
There's no station like this station. thehubproject.com. thehubproject.com. It's a must.
Alright, about 5 weeks ago, the three of us went up Hampstead and we smoked a Chandler joint. And when I was smoking the joint, as I was smoking it, I was getting clear messages that I needed to stop smoking. It was so clear. I couldn't ignore it anymore. I'd been having it for a little while, but it was like a quiet noise. But when I was in the Chandler is like it's a psychedelic, so you go somewhere and the spirits talk to you. Like they can tell you anything. They tell different people different things.
Yeah, tell you what you need to know.
Yeah, and well, I needed to know. I needed to stop smoking. And since I stopped smoking, I've been having crazy dreams. My dreams have been so vivid. I've been dreaming about everybody that I've had like a falling out with, a disagreement, different situations. But one of the main ones, I haven't spoken to my brothers for a couple of years. I had a dream that I died, and my spirit was trying to communicate with people that I knew, and nobody could hear me. No one knew that I was there, except my brother, who I ain't spoke to for a couple of years. And when I woke up, like I was literally sobbing. I was crying my eyes out, and I knew I had to reach out to my brother. I'd had other dreams about him leading up to that, but it wasn't that profound, you know what I mean? That was deep. I had to reach out. I had to apologise for my role in a disagreement, and I had a big part in it, but I wasn't solely to blame. But I'd let go of it. I'd forgiven, but I hadn't got to the stage where I felt like I needed to reach out. And since I reached out to him, he was obviously at a similar point, because he was open to it. You know what I mean? We met up. We were going gym. We went gym today to get on. This wouldn't have happened without me stopping smoking. You know what I mean? And having those dreams. Everything happens for a reason. And there is no coincidences. This is what this thing has taught me. Like, you are exactly where you're meant to be. And I wouldn't have been having them dreams unless he was ready to receive what I was going to put out. The olive branch that I was going to extend, he was ready to receive it. And that's been my since we last spoke, which was about 5-6 weeks ago.
Last month I've been going through it a bit on a new job. My mind's racing crazy. I can't get my head around it. I'm not. Difference before, I projected all that on other people, but now I'm just aware of it, and it's just like my flow's off. You said earlier, your flow's off as well. You know what I mean? It feels weird, but I'm not. It's not weird. It's I'm not present.
Is there anything that you know you should be doing that you're not doing?
No, it's just environment, work. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Well, you're working to live instead of.
No, I don't even know. It's just a job. It's just everything's got my mind on it. I'm aware of
your mind's on it, and your mind's overthinking.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And that's it, and that's how the ego comes into play, doesn't it?
The thinking mind.
Yeah.
Instead of the higher self.
Yeah. I know it's my thinking mind. It's not projected out on anyone else. I'm not losing my rag. I'm just getting on with it. You know,
just feeling a bit uncomfortable, isn't it?
Yeah, I just need to get back into the practice.
Have you been meditating?
Not really. I've been on it. Like, I haven't been training either. Probably.
This is what I'm saying about. Is there anything that you know you should be doing?
Yeah. It's just getting that. I think the clock's changed.
Yeah.
That's when I
spring. Where we're running to spring.
Yeah. I'm telling you, isn't it?
Yeah. As soon as the clock changed, I went, boom.
It's a bit dishevelled, isn't it? Like,
yeah, I've got to get myself back.
Because you was the one who told me that when you need to know things when you need to hear it, you hear that the messages become clear. Like you were saying about stopping eating meat, because I was after I'd done it for another year, I was still eating chicken and fish, and then I couldn't bear it anymore because it became so loud. The feeling in my stomach once I'd eaten it became so loud I couldn't eat it. So that's what I mean by is that exercise is the goodness for you. Do you know what I mean? And the meditation is the goodness for you. Do you think that That,
Yeah, but I think you have to. For me, when you get to a certain point, it won't tell you nothing. Then you know what this. Just when you got to hear the lessons, then you got to do something here.
but you already knew the lessons, though.
Yeah, I know, but it's just again, it's just my mind's like being aware of my mind. You know what I mean? I know it's the word environment. It's doing that meeting, that guy the other day trying to put him through the same thing, and he went a bit spangly. Didn't go well for him, but.
So you tried to help someone.
Yeah, my friend at work, we sat down the other day. He's like, he's a great guy, but he just couldn't let go. He couldn't let go. And he knew it. He knew everything. He said he was outside. He was outside of himself, looking in what he needed to do, but he just couldn't bring himself to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Knowing what to do and actually doing it are two different things, isn't they?
Self-realization, he's going to realise that everything's his fault.
But no doubt that one thing, although it didn't go as well as it has gone for other people, he's learnt something from that.
He's got something from it still.
Showed him something.
It wasn't worth it.
It affects everyone in different ways. Some people can have like a moment where that first time and he explains like everything to him. Like for me, I was lucky like that.
It's not always plain sailing.
But it's not always that.
But you didn't have as much trauma as this guy.
Yeah, this is the thing. It's all different circumstance, isn't it? You know
Can you
what I
explain
mean?
a little bit about the guy, that what he's been going through, like his physical health and his...
He had cancer. He lost his testicles. He says he's not alcoholic, but he's has 2 beers at lunch.
Yeah.
And I mean, oh man, he said again, he's like he's alright. You know, he's alright. He had whatever sniff and that. He's had 1 sniff since I've been working with him a month, and he's had been on it once. Because I mean, just talking to him, and he's told me his whole life. He's a blinder.
Yeah, sometimes talking helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's a blinder. He's been through a lot, but yeah, he tried it, mate. He was game for it.
Do you think maybe you took on some of his gear as well, like?
Yeah, absolutely. Our energy was knackered the next day. But it is what it is. It's just...
Because it's like an energy transference, like a mere vibration, and if you try and bring someone up in their vibrations, it's a lot more difficult to bring them up than it is for them to bring you down.
Yeah.
That's what I find. So I need to have my boundaries for certain people because I know they're going to bring me down, and I know that I'm going to take that on, and I'm going to bring other people down. Like, it's a ripple effect, isn't it? Like.
Yeah, but he understood because we got the vibration up, everything's going wonderful, and he just going in there, and he just get up and he'd run to the fridge and
fight it.
Yeah, have a beer, I'd be like, and then
because his ego's looking for his reality, his safety, comfort zone.
And he realised, that's what exactly what I did. I felt that something pulled me back to ground. I mean, that's your ego telling you.
Yeah. The ego doesn't want to change.
The ego doesn't want you to let go.
It's comfortable in its
That's something that can fight it, isn't it? You know what I mean? They can destroy it, your ego, you know. That's what he done something for me, mate.
He never got to the ego death.
Yeah.
He never got to the bit where he's like...
And that's just letting go, isn't it? Just letting go, mate.
Because you see people like there's someone before and they couldn't, every time they went to smoke like the DMT, they would want to hold their phone. Because it's that grip on something that they can see as reality and hold on to that.
Yeah.
While it starts to sort of disintegrate reality.
Yeah, but the thing is...
Breaks reality down. Our perception of reality.
Your perception of reality, yeah.
Our perception of reality.
He knew what he needed to do.
But in reality, that phone is not reality. That this healing and talking about your feelings, that's reality, but our ego doesn't want us to go there because it might not go back to where it was, and it wants to be the way it was. It wants to stay in its comfort zone.
Yeah, what it knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's sneaky as well. You can get to over elaborate on the ego as well. It can be your friend as well and like trick you into thinking you're all saying you're not.
So you start needing little things.
Sneaky guy, come on. That's the key. That's the key to this.
Yeah.
That's the key to this whole thing is the awareness of the ego. As long as you're aware of it, then you can navigate it.
Treating it as a separate entity.
When we say ego, it don't just mean like it's your thinking mind is your ego.
It's not. Yeah, it's so
Go on.
No, I was going to say it's not just like about egotistical, being big and brash or anything like that. It's the doubt that's in your mind as well. It's
doing things you don't want to do, isn't it? That you know you can do, but your ego is holding you back from doing it.
Yeah.
The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear, that's all your ego. Yeah, the fear of being judged is a big one.
Tolerance of people as well,
Judging
isn't it?
people
You know
as
what I
well,
mean?
yeah.
Like,
Judgment's a massive one, yeah.
yeah.
It's the all egoic state.
You can't see it. It's hard, like, finding fault in anyone. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, when like you said to me the first time is, when you see someone and you get annoyed or you get angry at, or you judge someone, you're judging something in yourself, because everybody's a mirror of yourself. So you're seeing something in them that you recognise of yourself.
Yeah.
So when something annoys you, now I try and think, what is it about me that I don't like? Not what is it about them, because it's nothing to do with them, because nobody can make you feel angry or...
You have that power.
Yeah, nobody has that power over you. You've got that power over yourself. And that was very profound, that everybody's a mirror. So whenever you hear people saying that insults at people, you're selfish, it's normally when they're being selfish. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a mirror.
they're seeing it, yeah. So
They're trying to point it out in someone else to defect from them, innit? You know what I mean?
Because you've that self-realisation though. That's You've had that moment of, you know you are.
separation, isn't it? Of yourself and your ego.
Exactly that, isn't it? That's what happens.
What about you? What have you been the last month? You've had a lot.
Yeah, the last month I'm pretty much like you were, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't been too clever. I ain't been bad, but not too clever. Not been myself. It's not flowing.
Oh, yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying? Not flowing. It's like I'm having to swim a little bit here, and some days it's a bit upstream. You know what I mean? That's all. And then, but it's like everyone, isn't it? You have good and bad days, but a lot of the bad days, not so much bad. I wouldn't say they're bad like that, but they've been uncomfortable. Yeah, just days. Like, let's tick that day off. Like, you know
I
what
had a
I
lyric
mean?
in a song that said, "Blessings disguised as bad days." And it just stuck with me. That easy you put me on too. There is no bad days. Do you know what I mean? It's just a judgment.
I'm turning it into a bad day. I'm choosing it to be a bad day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Exactly that. And that's when I've been aware, like, and it was a few things with like history with my mum, passing. It was that anniversary, and since I've done all this, I've had 7 years. You know what I mean? I've been alright. But since I'm in touch now with my feelings, myself.
You're not hiding it.
It was, I felt it more. But then I felt, my wife done Reiki on me, and I felt a connection with my mum on that a bit, you know, like, that's what this has given me, is she's with us. I can feel her when I get goosebumps, you know there's a spirit nearby, mate, you know what I mean, like in my eye. All this week, over the last 9 days, when I've felt a bit low, weren't it? I cut camping short on the Saturday, I weren't feeling right, you know what I mean? And I don't want to be there in a bit of a low vibration, and it can affect others, isn't it? You know yourself, when you're with someone in a low vibration, like we were saying a minute ago,
it's a lot easier to bring people down than it is for them.
It's hard. It's hard because they ain't done this. You know what I'm saying? They don't know about vibrations, and it was only through doing this, talking with us having chats, and realising that, you know, your frequency needs is changing, and like you were. I ain't been doing like the meditation, you know what I mean, and I'm sitting there thinking, hold on, that's my medicine, you know what I mean, and even when we went away and that, like, I didn't want to go in, like when we went, you know what I mean, like in my head, I needed to, but I didn't, and that's what, like, letting go of shit, like, you know, like.
Didn't want to sit with your feelings.
Didn't want to sit with my feelings, no. So I've been in recovery, and with this I can sit being a bit uncomfortable. Like you said, as long as you're not projecting on anyone, mate.
Absolutely,
You know, and you're aware of it, and I was getting to the point of, hold on, here's this depression. You know what I mean? That's what made me take more action, right? Meditation, more cold bath, more breath work. Feeling better, you know? Happy, strong and healthy again, isn't it? You know what I mean? You know, like yesterday, and that was 9 days of like, not really feeling life, you know what I mean? Like, just plodding on, trudging through life, you know what I mean? And it's, I'd say it's probably the first 9 consecutive, like, period of a longer period that I've felt like that since I went through when I done, you know, like when I done it with you guys and that. And like in the last month, I've smoked. Someone come round and I smoked some Changle with them, and you know when they get it there, but they needed to go further down the line in it. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's like
get to that ego, to destroy that ego. Like you're just scratching the surface. Yeah, like this is, you know what I mean. But that's more warming. But people a bit, when you say a psychedelic, people shit themselves a bit. And I'll be honest, when I come up with you guys, I knew nothing about this. I thought we'd go smoke a little joint, have a chat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't know that I'd be taken to different dimensions and seeing. I mean, like you were saying earlier, reality just broken down, mate. Like
you realise everything and nothing.
Everything and nothing, and this is my vessel of what, you know, this ain't me, this is, you know, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You done the LSD, didn't you?
Yeah, we've done that.
You need that.
Yeah.
That gets you in touch with that allows you to,
Starts that unraveling, and that unraveling,
LSD
like.
for me, that starts to raise your vibration.
Yeah.
Once you start the vibration, your mind starts to fuck with you. And that's when you get paranoid, and that's when you get.
It's when your ego starts to unravel,
Yeah,
it starts to panic and you go on for things.
Around friends, and you just get paranoid about what they do to you. You know what I mean? It's happened many times. You know what I mean?
To be honest, it happened to me a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I was back there thinking, nah, you're just telling me all bollocks here, like this ain't, you know what I mean? And you're like, should be, nah, and then you know what I mean? Like it's only come up now.
But that thought is got its life, innit? That's that thinking mind.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there and you're tapped in, and the other seeing that Clarkie, mate, seeing that guy, mate. It was like, I could see physically he was battling it, his mind, he was going in and out, body was like sharp. It was amazing to watch. Just to see the battle within his own mind, you know what I mean?
That's breaking the reality down, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing, he's breaking down his own reality,
Yeah, you know what I mean? And
questioning why he does the things that he does.
Exactly that.
That's exactly
on that. Yeah,
that's what he said. He said
into that.
Yeah. He said something like that about that. He sees things why I can't explain what he said. Exactly that though.
Yeah.
He said.
Breaking down your own thought process.
Yeah.
And then you can sort of come across, okay, I thought that because of something that happened or what's that, like you can trace it back to the point, then you realise how insignificant it is and you can let it go.
Like your head has magnified this thing, it's got boom, until it's this big nutty problem or whatever, and it ain't. When you right size it, it's a pea like.
Well, what we normally do is we put a judgment on it because of the trauma. The trauma's, we don't want to feel that no more, so we put judgment on it. And that's why we don't want to change as well. That's why the ego doesn't want us to change. It doesn't want us to. It wants us to remember and sit with the trauma. Do you know what I mean? Well,
judge everyone else, innit? You know what I mean? You be the judge and let everyone be. You know what I mean?
You see things from different people's perceptions.
Yeah, like you don't know what's going through someone's mind when you're walking down the street. Yeah, you know. That's what I've come to start realising.
Everyone's going through something.
Yeah, you can't treat someone because you don't know what's going on in their nut. Because some days my nut ain't great, and you're walking down the street and you want to burst into tears or something over it, and you don't even know why. You know what I mean? And it's heavy, isn't it? You know what I mean?
It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful lot though.
It is. Yeah, but without this, it's like meditation for me. It gives you that. I don't need to attach to that thought. If I ain't meditating that much, I can go with that thought, and it can take me like
down a rabbit hole.
And then you're like, mate, get back to where I need to be.
Is the practice that brings you back to your centre from
exactly
chasing that thought and you're chasing that for this guy in this building, and you just breathe and bring yourself back to your centre.
Right sizes it, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Like, it just brings it back to the right proportion, mate. Like.
What about you, Tone? What have you been up to?
My thing recently has been like going to work, so the stress of that and worrying about money. But again, it seems to be that every time, like that fear starts to build up. Like, am I going to have to do this, get that, blah 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 blah, and I let go of that fear. of something comes my way. As soon as I let go of that fear within,
The universe
provides. Like something will come along that just makes everything alright.
The only thing that stops it is the fear.
Is the fear, yeah.
When you allow yourself to be taken, take me, and just go with the flow.
Let it go, isn't it?
Yeah, as much as I know that
comes to what you need.
My ego still,
what you need.
Yeah, my ego still will wrap onto it. It's like, what if, and it starts to grow and fester, and then it'll get to a point where I'm just like, I don't know, I'll go out and ground myself, maybe get out in nature or something. Like when we went to camping, that just set me up nice. Like,
wonderful.
I just detached from everything, like as we know it, and just switched off and connected to source, basically.
Yeah.
But
I had enough. I was glad you wanted to go.
I didn't want to come home. I honestly didn't want to come home.
When I come and got you, innit?
Yeah, I was gutted.
Yeah.
I sat there for fucking ever, but yeah, it is that thing of
Back
again.
to reality we go.
Just letting go of that fear, because it's what the ego feeds on.
Yeah.
Everything will be alright.
Yeah, everything is alright. Everything is alright.
And all the scenarios
when you're not listening to your ego, then you can listen to your true self, your heart, and that'll just show you the way. Every time. But like you say, the ego's sneaky. It creeps in when you don't expect it, and
that's why
start putting attention.
It's important that we do the cold water and you put the right food in, and you watch the right things.
Definitely.
And you listen to the right music. That's
paramount as well, the music, isn't it? I find what music you listen to.
When I was around
everything you're absorbing.
The other day you had some rappers on and things like that. Like, I know you've got your kids and that, they want to put their music on and that. That is low vibrational music. I think that might have played a part in how you've been feeling as well. And you weren't doing the breath work, and you weren't
cold water,
meditating. We haven't been cold water for 3 weeks.
But this is the thing with the frequency. You lower it for one thing, and if you don't bring it up, it's likely to lower for something else, then likely to lower again for something else. And that's why you need to keep that practice in there, innit? Because like one thing just leads to another. You can see that when you look back at women's boozing and that, like you spend the weekend getting at it, and then you come home and wake up, and then you just want shit, easy food. So then that's making you feel even worse. You're going to work feeling like shit and blah blah.
Shit week at work.
Yeah, and then you have a shit week at work, so you want to you want to de-stress by getting at it again, and it just leads around again.
I found
that all these things that lower your frequency just help lower it again and again and again.
Well, booze is one of the biggest lowering in vibration, frequency.
I'd get upset by that. Things that I'd watching on the TV after I'd had the booze, I'd literally I'd feel like tears coming down my face, and I'd think, what's the matter with me? Like, what am I feeling? And then I'm going to have another booze because I don't want these feelings. Do you know what I mean? Then I'm on the next thing, and then it's a cycle, and you're never getting out of that cycle.
Wow.
But I found a way.
Raise your awareness.
I've got a new cycle, which is a higher cycle. Do you know what I mean? My new cycle. But it is.
We've upcycled our spirits, haven't we? You know what I mean?
I don't watch the same things on the TV. I don't listen to rap music no more. I don't eat meat. I've stopped smoking.
You've done well.
Well,
smoking thing's amazing.
Smoking,
that's the next thing for me. I know it though.
See, meats for me.
I know that as well.
Getting there, you know what I mean? I don't need.
It's to their own. I'm not judgment either. It's
told what you need to do.
What I needed to do to get to where I wanted to be, and I still mean things still annoy me, but like my first reaction isn't my real reaction. Like my first reaction is my old self, and then once I give myself a breath, then I know how I really feel about something. You know what I mean? Whereas before, I'd feel that first thing and then I'd chase it. Like if I was anger, I'd be doing something which I wasn't proud of. Stuff that I thought people that expected of me. Do you know what I mean? Like I've got to do that. I've got to do that. Do you know what I mean? Whereas
playing up to a role sort of thing. Playing up to that.
I ain't got to do
An actor,
nothing I
innit?
don't want to do that.
Yeah, someone else's perception of
I'm
you.
going to sit down and have a breath.
You're the actor, you're being directed by others' judgments of that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's what they expect of me.
And now I don't really care what people think, and that's not in an arrogant way, but that's their stuff. I don't need to get into that judgmental stuff. You know, if you like me, great. If you don't, that's your stuff. You know what I mean?
I can't imagine anyone not liking you.
No, I went through years of wanting to be like, wanting to fit in with people.
Yeah, we all did though, didn't you?
Yeah.
You know what I
dressed
mean?
the same for about 5 years.
Do you know how many people that I spoke to? Yeah,
We were all had the same haircuts in there.
the amount of people that I spoke to that like,
Done the same
we've all gone out
things,
drinking and
drink the
whatever
same
together,
drinking
that
habits.
say to me that they've just always felt like they didn't fit in, and you think everyone must have just been standing there, no one feeling like they're fitting in, but thinking that everyone else
all
fits
together
in.
not fitting in.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And I'm just sitting uncomfortable, just going, right, let's get rid of that feeling.
Exactly that, wasn't it? You know what I mean? And then it fitted
And
in
it's
anyway.
all just the ego running away with itself.
To be honest, I still feel uncomfortable, but I'm happy to be uncomfortable.
I don't feel comfortable.
No, this is what this has taught me. Like to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Like it doesn't affect me the way it did before. I don't have to chase it away. Like I'm happy with my uncomfortableness. I'm happy with my. I know I'm different.
I can feel uncomfortable in new situations. I can feel uncomfortable, like things that I'm not used to.
But if I go out and people are drinking,
But then
I feel
when
uncomfortable.
how you feel when you've done it.
I go to the football.
Yeah, but it's getting past that fear, isn't it? As always, it's that fear.
Holding it.
You don't know.
Because I don't mind people drinking. I can go out and watch people drink.
Yeah, but wait till you go to things 40th, right now. And it's going to be and all that.
Conversation, innit?
I'm not comfortable in that
thing that I
environment.
find
And I always did feel uncomfortable in that environment, but now I'm comfortable being uncomfortable in that environment, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't care, I don't need to feel comfortable, I'm alright. I'm complete, I'm whole. I don't need anyone or anything to approve of me. I'm good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But I still feel comfortable.
Because you're happy with yourself, mate. That's what it is. You're happy in there, mate. And then once you get that happiness and love in there to yourself,
Yeah.
you can give it to others.
No, you're a multi-dimensional being. That's it.
You need something.
Everything else is
I didn't know. I
isn't it?
But it's that self-love is the most important thing as well, because without self-love we're not happy. Yeah, you can't make other people happy.
You can't love anyone else.
Because your cup's empty, do you know what I mean? You have to fill your cup up first, because you can't fill up cups with an empty cup. It has to be full. Do you know what I mean? You can't. So you have to love yourself first and foremost, and that's where all of the healing starts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With self-love instead of living in fear.
Proper self-love, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like not wanting this and this. Nothing ever outside of you should
positive. That's it.
You need to make you happy within.
Yeah.
That's what I've been learning over the last.
It's all inside.
Yeah,
It's
like,
not in here.
you know what I mean?
It's not
Like,
in here.
happiness is there. It's just having that key to unlock it, and that's what the DMT and that done for me. You know, unlock that key to
It was
proper.
euphoric love what I saw it wasn't even on the DMT, it was on the Changa. I smoked a Changa joint and mate, I went on this ride, mate. It was a beautiful but it was euphoric love. It was a feeling of love, and he told me I was God, and I spoke to God and he said, I am you and you are me. And told me I'm God, and I come out and I said, I'm God. And then I went, yeah, me too. I went, I know. God's all divine beings. Like I said this before, we're humans having, we're spirits having a human experience, and we're here to experience the full range of human emotions, and that's the darkness and the light. Do you know what I mean? You can't have the light without the darkness, because you wouldn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Well, if it was all dark, nothing,
You'd be blinded by the contrast, mate. You'd be blinded by the light. You know what I mean? You wouldn't know what it was.
Something's part of life.
Yeah. But it's part of the human experience.
part of the journey, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like journey on this planet, isn't it? You know what I mean?
That's why I felt I had to go through everything like this. When I say everything happens for a reason, I had to go through that shitty feeling, sitting there out my nut on my own, all of them the nights. Because if I didn't do that, it wouldn't have spurred me on to look for this, because I would have thought I was alright still, do you know what I mean? And then once I got to that point, I knew that I'd never be in that dark place again, but I had to go through that because I want to know what this euphoric love is. And it sounds like, oh, lovey-dovey, but it's genuinely, I feel that. And I used to judge people, I used to have preconceived ideas of people before I didn't even met him. He's a cunt, I don't want to talk to him. He's a robbing bastard, I don't want to talk to him. But now I know that each person is going through their own trauma, and they're at different levels of learning how to deal with that trauma. And there's no judgment of anybody anymore. I just love everybody. And I know it sounds mad, but I genuinely do. And sometimes I catch my old self like judging people, and then I look at them and think, what is it about them that I don't like about myself?
Yeah.
Because it's always a mirror of yourself. And that really helped me. And you are where you're supposed to be at all times. Everything that you've been through in your life is what you had to go through. That's what like it was preordained before you got here. Like that was your experiences set out before you. And I know it seems like far-fetched, but that's what I genuinely believe. Like everything that you are exactly where you're meant to be at all times. The universe, like you say, the ego's a sneaky guy. I think that the universe is a clever, and we're all part of like one big, massive picture, and we're all little dots on the picture that reflects the whole.
The whole purpose is to awaken.
Yeah.
That's the whole.
Spiritually awaken, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Human beings are. That's like inner purpose.
I think it's to process trauma. I think it's to learn how to process our trauma.
Enlightenment, isn't it? You know what I mean? Enlightenment.
I don't know if awaken, awareness. That's the inner purpose of our soul.
Yeah.
Is to awaken. Anything else that is secondary. You know what I mean? But if you're coming from the soul perspective, then you're on your high flying disc. You're making right decisions. You're doing the right stuff. You know what I mean? But that's the most humanity's purpose, is to awaken, raise your vibration, not just for me, just for Earth, for the planet. You know what I mean? Stay sober. That's the key thing.
Oh mate, that is the biggest, lowest vibration.
I think that's why there's off licenses and every corner, mate. We was over High Park the other day. They're doing a mass meditation, and you've got the police helicopters flying above to bring down the vibration. It's a low vibration while we're sitting there trying to vibe high. And they don't want us to be vibing high because we're easy to control when we're in a low vibration. We're controllable, we're easy, we're predictable. When you're in this love and you're in a high vibration, they don't know what we're capable of, because we are divine beings. And I truly believe that.
We are divine beings.
Godly beings, right?
Yeah.
Gods. It's just you forget sometimes.
But then, everybody that you see that is in like homeless people, drug addicts, they're gods too. They just don't realise it. They're just not woken up.
Just not found the light, innit? Like, you know what I mean? I've not been shown the light. You know what I mean?
But not everyone's here to wake up though.
No.
Not everyone's here to wake up.
Not everyone will, but I think that everyone has the opportunity to. So whether it's the choices you make.
Yeah, it's your journey. Listen, if you want, this is.
If it's not in this, maybe the next life, the next life after that.
And the thing is as well, there has to be some darkness for you to appreciate the light. They're part of the whole.
Yeah, but this was definitely.
But they're still gods as well.
It's definitely happened to me. This go from my life.
Oh, it does seem like it was meant to. Like when I look at it, it seems like it was meant to be. Like something that from.
Yeah.
That we nothing about sort of fell in our lap.
Yeah, it's just it was meant to be. It was
and
meant
woke
to
us up.
be.
But it's gone from you to you to me to you to
the next one, to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, and slowly.
What's that group, innit? You look at how big that's got with more people doing it.
50 people in that group now.
From like at first us being like, have you listened to them lunatics? They've all lost the plot.
Yeah, but
so like years down the line,
Some people have done it and they've gone back to their old ways.
How many people have come up to you and asked
and
you
now
questions?
everyone's like, hold up, yeah, I might need to come and like find out.
I told there was something in that book about what's that proverb about maybe the guy was in.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what?
That was
a Chinese farmer.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
That's like when he said it, told like this happened here. The breakdown.
My son broke his leg. that was unlucky, and he says maybe. Then the country goes to war, and he can't go to war, and he says, oh, that was lucky. He says maybe. Then the village gets burnt down. He says, oh, that was unlucky. He says maybe. And I'm sure I have that exactly.
But it's like you don't know what the other outcome would have been, so you don't know.
Just is what it is. There is no
even the bad thing that's happening.
Just acceptance.
It's better off than.
Well, he said, well, that's someone says that everything's making space. Like the meditation is making space for the mind and body. Yoga makes space in the body. Like you said, the breakdown of my relationship, all that was to make space for this.
Okay, yeah. I can see that.
If I was with that Kelly still, we would never been like this.
You'd have never got to where you are now. No,
because I needed that space from her, space from everyone. Like it was at the time, it was
to find your soul,
to
mate.
fill your cup up. You can't fill other people's cups with an empty cup.
First it was like, oh fuck, it was amazing. Playing single bang, doing what I'm doing. Then it was fucking hard. This is a lot. So then, wow, this is it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That space had to be made.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason.
There's no regrets. There's no fucking.
Regret is a judgment as well. Like if you're taking away all judgment,
it's a low frequency
emotion.
Yeah. Oh.
It's negative, isn't it? Regret is negative.
Yeah.
Anything negative doesn't serve you. Nothing negative
and also
serves you.
you regret things from the past. The past is no longer here either. So.
It's your mind again.
Yeah. It's your mind, isn't it?
In the future,
you're worried about something that don't exist.
The only thing that exists is this moment now, isn't it?
The
power of now.
Yeah.
After I've done DMT, I think one of you told me about that book. I went and got the book, The Power of Now.
Amazing.
Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah, amazing.
And that's very, very like some of the exercises in there tells you how to recenter yourself, and become the watcher of your thoughts, and become the watcher of rather than participating in your thoughts. Sit there and watch them. Just sit there, and then they'll come in and they'll go, and they'll come less and less. And it's about holding an empty mind, and that's where you're in your higher self, when your mind is clear of all thoughts. And it's about like you might do it for 3 or 4 seconds at a time, but it's a muscle, and you can do it for 10 seconds and then 15 seconds. And the cold water helps you do this as well, because you can't think about anything else other than your breathing while you're doing the cold water.
Yeah, which is
and that's more. It's all about bringing yourself back to your true self, your higher self.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Centre of your core, mate.
But it isn't this just smoking a pipe and that's it. Do you know what I mean? But that's what some of these people that have gone back to their old ways.
Yeah.
They don't. They come out and they think, oh, that was wonderful, that was lovely. I'm going to go back and do what I was doing before. If you're going to go and do what you was doing before, you're going to start feeling the way you was before. Even though you know
you're going to get that merry-go-round again. It's as simple as that.
Again, you're going to do them things that's going to lower your frequency and allow other things to lower your frequency.
That detachment, I think.
Yeah. Well, this is what you showed me as well about attachments. The meat's an attachment. Smoking was an attachment.
Absolutely.
Drinking was a big attachment. Cocaine was a big attachment. And it's about detaching yourself from all of these things that you think make up your personality, because they're not your personality. I didn't even know who I was. But I'm determined to find out who I am without all of this stuff in me. Do you know what I mean? And I'm starting to like the person. Well, I love the person that I am now. Do you know what I mean? I'm getting to know me. Whereas
Really?
yeah,
You was running from
I didn't know
yourself
what it was.
so long, right?
And I had flashes of this like throughout my life. I've done bad things. I'm not going to say I haven't done bad things, but I'm not a bad person. And I always knew I wasn't a bad person even though I'd done bad things.
Yeah.
And this showed me that it's like the centering yourself. The time between you doing a bad thing becomes. I can still flip out. I can still say things that are not particularly nice, but it's not that. Like I said, my first reaction is my old self. And then it's how you react after that. Like, do you make amends for what you've done? And like, I'm not smashing the place up anymore like I would before. And
I told the kids off in 2 years. I told them off on nothing. 2 years.
They're here to teach us, the kids, as well. Like, that's another big thing.
And I let her push me, like, Ruby, yeah, she gets me, like, I know she tested me, but I ain't told her off. I will never take them off again. Well, I'd raise my voice to her anyway, you know, never.
I ain't there yet. I'm not there yet. My daughter's very
My
sensitive.
teenagers, mate.
I'd like to live up.
Yeah, I'm going to try now. Now you've said that, I'm going to try. My little one I don't really, you know what I mean? I've got a lot of patience, but the two teenagers, I'm like, no, you should know better. No, you get them a nut. You know what I mean? But even then,
They're on their own journey.
they know a little bit about what I've been doing, and you know, there's a lot of spirituality in our house. And even when I spoke to my oldest Oliver the other day, and I said, what do you think's changed? And he said, the energy in the house.
Oh, wow.
Do you know what I'm saying? So he's getting in touch. He has Reiki now, and he's a bit like me with his head. You know what I mean? He struggles with his head, and my daughter has Reiki. You know, right? They're things that. That's why my wife became a Reiki teacher, so she could do it on the kids, and you know what I'm saying. Not really, and to help others. You know what I mean? But she see where I was going, and we meditate, and you know what I mean, do things spiritual together. You know what I mean? Whereas when I was in recovery, we didn't have that connection. I was going out to meetings. And it was like on my own, getting a new group of friends, helping people, and then I'm leaving her at home, and now we've got a thing of where I'm recovering still, but we've got a spiritual connection. We had a spirit, you know what I mean? She's my wife, but we've been together 23 years, but we've got a proper spirit. We can say to each other, nah, you're vibing low right now. I'm leaving this conversation, you know what I mean? Without it going, you fucking idiot, you know what I mean? Look at why you're being like that, you know what I mean? And we know space.
When I come round the other week, I come round for dinner, your missus done Reiki, your my missus. And before we would have been out
quick to go to the pub now for an hour, you know what I mean? They come back 3 4, wait for them to phone.
Candle gazing, meditating, candle gazing.
Yeah, it was beautiful, wasn't it?
It was lovely, mate.
Mate, coming out of the room and walking down, I was like, mate, we want to come out of that room, we're in a barricade that till we've done in a minute, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how it was, mate. And that was normal. That was what we perceived as normal. So how I perceive life now, I've got no worries, because my life was walked out of what I thought reality was. Now I'm seeing it clear, it's crystal clear, you know what I mean? There's no murky water in there. You know what I mean? That's what I love, you know?
We're going to talk about our families, our relationships with our families have changed. For me personally, my missus, her family was, like I said this to her mum earlier today, her dad's passed away last year. This is why, this was part of the reason why I got on my journey, because I had a violent incident, almost violent incident. I got angry about it when I got on the drugs, like cocaine, or when I got a gram of cocaine. I sniffed it in one go and sat in a dark room on my own for 2 hours until it wore off. I couldn't face my kids. But her old man got sick with COVID and was in hospital straight after that. Straight that day he was ill in hospital. He got taken to hospital on New Year's Eve. On New Year's Day. And she wouldn't have been able to cope with me carrying on the same way I went. Since I stopped doing that and I found myself and I feel like I'm a whole, whereas before I felt like I was a half, like I didn't feel complete. I felt like there was missing piece to me, and this just gave me like the missing pieces. Like I'm a whole. I'm worthy. Do you know what I mean? I'm worthy of love because I am loved. Do you know what I mean? I give love and I receive love. Whereas before I didn't feel like I was worthy. But her family unit was like the perfect example of what a family should be. She's got one brother, and the dad was like the manager of the football team. He went to all the games, done everything with my missus. He used to pick her up when she went out and things like that. And they had a mum and a dad, and they had love in the house. Do you know what I mean? Like my mum was trying to do everything, but while trying to do everything, she was flat. And I don't mean this as a judgment, but she wasn't being successful. I don't want to say she failed, because she didn't fail. She got me through it, but it was more like dragged through it rather than raised through it. You know what I mean? And it was like a lot of the time she was out trying to work, trying to get us the material things we thought we needed, where all we needed really was presence. You know what I mean? And I don't mean gifts. I mean her being present. And I'm present now with my family, and the thing is, I've done worse than her, because I didn't have no reason to be away. I wasn't out making money, working, trying to bring stuff back. I was taken away from the family. I was spending money that the family never had, getting into debt to pay for my habit, and in a really selfish place. And since I've done this, I'm present. And present is a gift. That's what I call it. Like, the past is history, the future is a mystery, and the present is a gift. That's why they call it the present. You know what I mean? That's from Kung Fu Panda, isn't it? Yeah, but that's so true. And to be present, and I've noticed that my relationship with my oldest daughter, she had anxiety issues before I done this. And her anxiety issues are got so much better. Like, she's got a job now, she's got her first job, she's 17, she's got her first job, she's at college. And she was so shy, she had social anxiety, she couldn't talk to people, you know what I mean? Like, people think she's rude, but she's not, she's just very, very shy, like frozen to the spot, shy. Like, and she's coming out of herself now, because obviously she must have been scared of me and my anger and aggression. And it's like, it was overbearing and just shut her down, like, didn't allow her to be who she was trying to be. And there's genuine love in my house now, and there's always love, because I always loved my children, I always loved my missus, and they always loved me, but the love wasn't always directed in the right way, because I was unhealed. That's what, I wasn't healed. That's what I mean by when I say I wasn't complete. And now the love is present, and I am present, and I'm there for them. Like, we're having another baby, which we would not be having. That she said, "I'm not having a baby with you, another baby with that, because of my drinking and I won't come home, or when I did come home, I'm laying on the sofa for that, eating bad food and getting in a cycle of low vibrations." Whereas now I'm trying to make a new normal, and it started by when we was going to the jam. Remember the jam? Yeah. Where we go and sit in the forest, and people banging on drums. We'd light a bonfire, people banging on drums, playing the didgeridoo. And the first time I went there, I was like, oh mate, this ain't me. But then I said to myself, I don't want to be that person I was like a few weeks ago. I want to be a new person. To be a new person, I need a new normal. And my new normal is going to entail me doing things that I didn't do before, because I've got to leave behind the things that I was doing before. And my relationship with my missus is so much better. There's genuine love and communication. We wasn't communicating properly, because it became like an argument. Everything became an argument, a slanging match, point scoring, like what you said. And now we actually communicate, and it's a beautiful thing. How far. To be honest, it wasn't even that far, because it was love, and it's hard to explain. We was right here, but now we're here, and it's just like the effect that it's had on my whole family is profound. Because, like I said, my daughter's anxiety's got a lot better. My relationship with her has got a lot better. We communicate. We talk about issues. We talk about all sorts of things. She's studying politics and she's doing psychology. She says I'd be the perfect case study, because like I had post-traumatic stress disorder. I think I was always like what they would consider on the spectrum a little bit. I think bipolar, a little bit bipolar I think I had, because I was always happy or very sad. And now I'm just happy. I'm like, the sadness don't come over me like it did, like the waves of sadness don't come over. And if I do feel an emotion, allow it to come, and I sit with the emotion, and they catch me crying from time to time. I said it before about I was reading a book with my youngest, and I was crying. When I was trying to explain to them about my dream, what I had about my brother who had died, I was crying, but I let them know that it's alright to feel emotions, and that's what we was told to suppress when I was young. That I'd get a beating and they'd get told that stop crying, because my crying would offend them. And I'm not talking about adults, I'm talking about my brothers. That my crying would offend them. That because it made them feel, do you know what I mean? They didn't want to feel guilty for what they'd done to me, so they tell me to stop crying. So I've got to suppress my feelings, and now we're all allowed to feel. It's a safe space in my house now. So I'm just grateful, and I think my family are grateful because, like I said, I'm more of a role model now, whereas I was a case study before. Do you know what I mean? And that's where I am. That's how my whole life's changed.
That's the biggest thing for me as well, seeing my daughter and Albert, and seeing them now. Like 2 years ago, she was in a bad place. And I mean, now she's like a butterfly. She's flourishing at a serious level. She's vibrating differently. I mean, I'm gobsmacked. And Albert's just doing his thing, you know what I mean? He's just a wonderful little boy. Like,
Happy chap,
I don't think I put him through. I don't think I put him through. They're just me being like this, me just doing me. They've just gone exponential, like they've just grown as people, mate, as souls. And you can see it in them. I mean, they're different, they're happy. They're happy themselves, you know what I mean? It's amazing. I love spending time with them.
And the feeling's mutual as well, I can tell.
Yeah, I know. I just go for walks with them all the time. They go for turn around now and everything. You know what I mean? They're just happy, mate. And that's the best thing.
It's the presence that they feel, don't they? That's the big change.
They trust me. They trust me now, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And I love them now. I never loved them before. I love them now, like, they're unconditional.
You love them correctly, you always love them.
I don't think, listen, like, I didn't know what love was. My interpretation of love was not what it is now, trust me. So obviously I didn't love love. Love's a spectrum. So this is unconditional. This is everything. Like, I know this is now. Yeah.
Not there, mate.
Yeah. Before I was the one who loved the terminology, that means nothing, that shit. You know what I mean? I'm just, like, it's weird. It's weird. I'd rather be with them than anyone in the world. Like, that's it. I love them unconditionally, you know what I mean? And they know that. You know what I mean? I used to worry about them, and like, it's weird. The balance is always off, and they just come together. It's amazing. They go for walks on their own. 4-hour walks around London with just the two of them.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I know. They didn't even tell me.
Smirk,
The dog, man. I'm so proud of them, honestly. Like,
Usually them up, weren't they,
Yeah.
mate, as well?
it's just quite, they will assemble me. It's just, once the vibration gets right, they will naturally come along. They can't not.
Yeah.
They're still young and they can influence, you know what I mean? Some people in my life won't ever come along. You know what I mean? They won't ever. But they will. I know they will. Like, you can see it in them, that honestly, they're like flowers just grown in the last 2 years, like sparkling, isn't they? You know what I mean? Sparkling. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, for me, it's the presence in my house. We was always close, and I've always got on well with Mrs. But it was that selfishness, like working all week, coming home and feeling that you've done your bit, so now it's my time, drinking, and then like you do things with the kids, but you're there, but you're not present with them. So my whole like the weekend you go and do something with the kids, but I would have like a packet of thing on me, and it would be aimed at just doing something with the kids, and then getting to a restaurant where we can drink and we can get at it. And that change in my presence, where I'm completely, my concentration is complete with them, like I'm completely in the moment with them and enjoying it with them, that's the change, because my daughter said that at first. But I never believed in any such thing as God. Nothing like that. So when I come home from like going, like left my house one night, went and smoked DMT and come back the next day trying to explain to my missus and everyone around me that I understand what God is, that they got really worried about me. They thought I was losing the plot. And behind my back, like they're messaging my missus, going up, we're worried about Tony and the things he's talking about. Because I'd have just been, fuck that, talk about God, let's just get on the booze, let's just get at it. Like, I had no time for that.
Kenny was calling us a cult.
But yeah, understanding how God works, and understanding now and presence.
It's love, isn't it?
And love, yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah, like I asked my daughter if anything had changed within the last year, and she didn't know what had changed. She couldn't put her finger on anything, but she said everything's much better now. And she just couldn't explain what single thing had changed, but it's that presence. Before I was there, but I wasn't present.
100%.
And now that ripple effect, like that, there's a knock-on effect. Like Julia's changed the way. Well, she's come on this with us, walking her own path. But it's that positivity in the house. There's no snapping. There's no one's tired. Everyone's got time for each other. It's an amazing thing. It's so simple. It's like so
magical,
so
though,
simple. Isn't it? Yeah,
Calm.
but that the calmness and everything about it. There's no chaos. Do you know what I mean? Everything just flows smoothly indoors, and everyone's happy.
Life, isn't it?
Yeah.
It should be.
The ripple effect is profound.
It is, yeah. It is. It's good as well because I've got my youngest now. Like my oldest thinks it's weird, obviously, because one minute she's got me like trying to tell her that don't listen to anyone tell you about God because it's all rubbish, and then now I'm trying to tell her otherwise. It's a bit weird for her. But my youngest is well on board. Like she has to sit there and meditate with me sometimes and things like that. So hopefully she comes along. Like that.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, my life's changed, mate. My own life. It was rocky, you know what I mean? Pretty similar to yours, Tony, like when you were sitting there saying it, you know what I mean? Like, I got sort of same thing, drink and drugs, mate. It was horrendous. I fucking wanted to be a kid there looking back at it now, you know what I mean? Not that they weren't loved. I didn't do things with them, but like you said, I'd do things. I'd have to reward myself for having them. I've had them for the day. So when the missus come home, like, you're watching the kids on.
Yeah, now it's not your fun. Yeah. That's it.
Whereas now it's like, it's our time.
Yeah.
I love getting home from work and seeing my kids and the missus and, you know what I mean? Whereas before I could slip down the pub and, you know what I mean?
Could I ask, because you was in recovery for a few years before you'd done this.
Yeah.
So what's changed since you've done the DMT, since you was just in rehab, in AA?
I'm fucking full of love, mate. Like proper love, and self-love. You know what I mean? Like not arrogance. You know, like that self-love and loving. You know, like what I perceived as
that power
loving yourself. Like that. Oh, that love of I've got to be good to myself so I can be good to others.
Yeah.
That's how I live my life now. You know what I mean? Like you were saying earlier, yeah? I wasn't a bad person doing bad things. I was a good person, but I just done bad things, you know what I mean? And because I didn't know who I was, didn't know how to live life. I had kids, didn't know how to be a dad properly, like now.
Not did I.
And that, you know what I mean? Like, because I didn't know who I was. How am I meant to be something for you when I don't know who I am, you know what I mean? And now I know I'm dad and I'm Scott, you know what I mean? I'm an husband, I'm a son, you know what I mean? Like, and with AA, I've never had the true happiness of what I got now. And like with you, with my oldest, I said to him, have you noticed anything's changed? And he said, yeah, the energy in the house, Dad. You know what I mean? Like, and now you can feed off bad energy. Like, you can feel it. Like it's powerful. You know what I mean? Like you can't.
It makes me think of like all the times that you're waking up with a hangover, and so you're snapping at people around you, and you're moaning because of it. I've been at work all week and I want to lay you, and you're that vibration, that frequency, that negative frequency.
Wishing that day away.
Travels round.
You're more aware of the vibration of negative vibration and positive.
I never knew about vibrations.
That's what I showed you.
Yeah. That's what I was showing them what I speak. Like we spit, and then I feel it. Like when I don't know whether, unless you've done the DMT, I don't know whether you could get to the place of feeling that vibrations of how strong they are and how energy sources are. You know what I mean?
I don't think without DMT I'd have ever come across this. I needed something like that to just wake me up.
I can walk into a place and I can feel someone's negative energy. I can feel it, and I can feel like.
You don't judge them by the person. You judge them by the energy.
I have to get away from that energy.
Not judge them, but you can. Don't know this. I'm not feeling this at the minute, and I ain't judging. That's
maintaining your happiness is inside your energy.
You're getting something. You're feeling something. You know what I mean?
You can be like, you can go into something like, you can go into say like a pub or somewhere, and the low frequency that's in there, you will start to notice your ego come out. You might start to notice a bit of judgment and all that, and it's because of the environment that you're in.
Because you're going
and that frequency outweighs your one.
That low vibe is like a magnet pulling you down into it, isn't it?
You can feel yourself react to certain things in that negative way, and you know it's obviously it's your ego getting.
Oh mate, my dad knows I've done this. You know what I mean? My sisters, my family. I got no shame in it. You know what I mean?
I was talking to my mother-in-law earlier, and I said, I went there to watch the other videos what we've done about mental health, and my missus was like, I'm not sure I want my mum to see that, but I'm not embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed of where I've come from. I was embarrassed when I was in it.
Shit, really?
I didn't want no one to know I was ashamed. I was full of shame, but I'm not ashamed one bit now. I'm proud of how far I've come.
Well, I was saying the other night.
I want to be an example to people. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to hide it. If I can help someone by just talking to them and showing them where I've come from and where I am now and the profound difference, then I'll bare my soul to everyone. I don't care.
Mate, if it helps someone, you know what I'm saying. Like that's what it's about, isn't it? Giving back to human kindness, mate. You know what I'm saying? Whether it just be saying hello to a stranger and wishing them a good day. You know what I mean? Like you never know that could put a smile on someone's face. You know, like little things.
You need to let everyone that we can.
Simple things. You know what I'm saying?
You need to let everyone that we can.
The other thing is what I think about the people that have no idea how fucked they are, because I was fucked, but I had no idea. I thought everything was right. I thought what was wrong with my life. I thought everything was good from that perception of where I was at that time.
But when you look at it now,
now
when you look at it and have the feedback from your kids.
Come on, I was just living this endless tired cycle of just going to do this pretty much the same thing every weekend, just in a different venue sometimes. But it was exactly the same.
Groundhog Day, right?
And then spending a week tired, thinking it's because I'm grafting. But it ain't, it's because I've had no kip on the weekend.
Yeah. You got to sleep there for 2 days, you know what I mean?
And then it's getting midweek and I'm going, do you know what, I'm tired and I've got a couple of things to do indoors, so I'll have a couple of liveners and
couple of sherbets and then you're right, man.
Absolute madness.
But that was normal. That was the crazy thing.
This is the thing, I didn't know what else to do. Like, if you'd have come round my house, I would have poured you a drink and set up a livener, because I thought, that's like, what else are we going to do? Do you know what I mean? Like,
let's have a rabbit and talk bollocks. You know what I mean? Talk the same bollocks that we spoke about. The last fucking God knows how many years. You know what I mean? I mean, the stuff we talk about, you know, like the meditation thing, songs, like, you know, like these are all. I would never listen to these songs, but when I'm playing them to people and they're going, I like that. Where'd you get that one? see, you know what I mean? I don't listen to all that, or the main, I have to with my kids, you know what I mean? Because in my car they just overrun me, you know what I mean?
That's right, my kids have got headphones, man. You can listen to whatever you want. But
I enjoy it sometimes with them, you know what I mean? When my daughter wants to do a video of us and I'm driving and we're rapping or something, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And to me that's a quality moment with her, and I'm privileged that she wants to do that with me, you know what I mean? Like, I'm normally in fucking work clothes and shit, you know what I mean? And the other day we was going out for Sunday dinner, so I got cleaned up, you know what I mean? And my daughter went, come here, let me have a photo, because she was dressed up. She said, let me have a photo in that. Right, on my birthday, you can post that photo, you know what I mean? And I felt privileged, you know what I mean? Like, and they're the things that I didn't see before all this. They're the things that my eyes are open up to, you know what I mean? I go and walk through a park now, and I would go over Highgate Woods a lot, and when the trees are swaying, I say the trees are waving at you, Jack. Look, you got to wave at them, you know what I mean? These are things like energies that...
It gets you hugging the trees, you
know, Jack. We're hugging trees, and that's fantastic.
So when we was camping and watching like the night sky, and then watching the night turn into morning, like that blew me away. And I've been to some nice, beautiful places and that, and I've never once thought to look at anything like that, because I've been sitting in this nice place, just going, yeah, another one of them. Like that's. I could have been still sitting in Islington doing the same thing. It wouldn't have really like.
Just in the heat.
Just not aware of anything. Yeah, I'm just somewhere where it's hot, getting the suntan. Yeah.
Wasted so many places.
Isn't it?
We could get away with getting on it and get a green light on it, weren't it? You know what I mean? And then put the energy like and the love in my ass. You know what I mean? Like, and like right now, my wife's become a Reiki teacher.
Because of what you've done.
Like she said, she seen me, and then now, like I was saying earlier, AA. Me and her got a spiritual connection. When we sit and meditate, we do Wim Hof breathing together. We can hold our breath for over 2 minutes together. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, she does it, like, she's well into it, you know what I mean? Like, and just that, we can talk, like, our language of talk ain't what it used to be. Like, we could have a murders, and that'd be drawn out for days. And that could lead to, if I weren't drinking, because I had recovery, and I'd recovered for a few years, so I could go with it, but I still had what I call the alcoholic traits. I was a fucker to be around. I was angry. I was judgmental. It was like I was drinking, but I just weren't putting the toxins in me. I was toxic with my mouth. You know what I mean? Like
with your faults.
And my faults, going with them. And I knew about meditating. I just didn't. And I got to a point where I see you and I drunk at that wedding. And I said to my missus, that's it, after, I'm going to drink today, and I tell you, and she went, it's up to you, innit, I ain't never going to tell you not to, and she knows I've gone through like years of, and I weren't right, and then when I see you and lit up and you weren't drinking, I'm like, shit, we went and got some snack, and I was like, I'm coming to do this thing, you know what I mean, then I got COVID, didn't I, you know what I mean, brought COVID to the wedding, and
no, you didn't. That's easy.
Anyway, you know what I mean? But like that wedding as well, I believe I was meant to get drunk, meant to get on it, meant to go and get snapped, meant to speak to you.
If you didn't get on it and have a booze at that wedding, I would have thought you was alright still.
Yeah, I knew, but prior to that drink, I knew there was something not right inside of me. I weren't connected to myself. Does that make sense? You know, like, I was running on my head, on my self-will, not running on my heart, you know what I mean?
It's in your thinking mind, your ego. That's your
totally ego, in every act now I see my ego for what it is, and I was one big egotistical prick, you know what I mean?
You all are.
You know what I mean? But not realising it until I'd done the DMT and I could see myself for what I was. Like, you know what I mean? And what is on offer here, like in doing. The more I've done this, the more goodness I want. Like I've read stuff about it, I'm intrigued by the breathing and the cold water, like that's transformed my life. My son does it with me, my youngest, 2.5. He goes breathing in the shower with me, you know what I mean? And I'm telling you, it's like ice cold, you know what I mean? Like, it's nearly there, it's 2 notches away. Then I go one more, and he goes, no, I'm getting out. He's done like 30 seconds a minute. And when he does that, oh, it's cold, I go, breathe, and I say, get your breathing under control, you know what I'm saying? That before doing all this, I couldn't have done that. Like, I've got a connection with every one of my kids in a spiritual way. Like, my daughter manifests, she's into angel numbers. My son's into like, he's more into like the cold water he prefers.
He's been with us a few times.
Yeah, he's been with us a few times. He's into like, he knows about the breathing, like I'm trying to get him, because I know it'd help him a lot, you know what I mean? Like, just that breathing, he's very much like how I was at his age, so you know, like I can see myself in him, you know what I mean? And thinking, shit, my dad never told me how to breathe. I told him at 18 I think I've got a drink and drug problem. He went, no, you just like to drink something. Fast forward 18 years, I'm fucking alcoholic, I'm taking copious amounts of coke, you know what I mean? I'm fucking off my nuts, I'm alright.
That's that we was taught to suppress our feelings.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? My dad, I couldn't go to him and go, no, you know what? I'm just not feeling it today. My son can come to me and go, no. And I go, you know what, come, we're going to do this. Go for a walk with a dog, be around the trees, nature, have a chat. Like, come on, let's take a few deep breaths here. Nothing heavy, you know, like 5 big deep breaths. Now, how's that feeling? You know, change the subject and lower the conversation with an higher vibration. Like my little boy now, he knows exactly, run, follow the sun. Yeah, I love it. And he's bouncing around, you know what I mean? Catch and release, you know. We dance around, listening to music most of the night, and it's all different songs that I wouldn't have listened to before none of this, before AA, I'm lit up spiritually more than I was with doing the 12 steps twice. You know what I mean? Like, I'm to a place of happiness that I never knew. Like the 9 days, yeah, I weren't myself, but I sat with it, got through it, and thought about why ain't you doing it? Like you were saying, I ain't meditating, I ain't doing shit to help myself here. So where am I going to go? I'm going to go back into that bit of darkness that I was so comfortable with. And then that's it. It's everything, you know what I mean? And then I'll try and start finding things to fix the way rather than take the medicine, what you need, the meditation, the breathing, you know what I mean? If you need to go in, you know what I mean? But I don't really do it that much, you know what I mean? Like, I've done it a few times. The Changa, like I said the other day, someone come round and smoke, and I like that, you know what I mean? I like the feeling of going up, coming down, you know what I mean? The mushrooms, still I'm scared of, you know what I mean? But I'm glad I'm scared, because every other drug I fucking loved, you know what I mean? And I love it and hate it, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because I know it's going to tell me what I need to know. It's not what I want from it. You know what I mean? And that's what's scared, and that's my ego.
It's the only drug that I've known that I could have sitting in my house and not touch it.
Yeah.
Like,
it's medicine.
Sure, like, if it was there and called to me, I'd have to go do it.
I don't take it like I would have liked it.
It's medicine. You don't go take Calpol unless you've got a temperature.
Like in them 9 days, I would have fucking banked a load of gear up my nose, drank myself silly because of how I felt, yeah. I didn't think, right, I'm going to go and get a Changa joint out here now. I'm going to go and take a few mushrooms. I thought, no, I've got to sit because if I go and take them, I'm choosing them to change how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's external stuff. I've got to sit with it and get it in here. Whether it be meditating and breathing, you know what I mean? I done it last night, properly, my breathing and that, and I was different today. I woke up with that, I'm lit up again now. And you know, that was without any medicines to get you there, you know what I'm saying? And that's what you do, you need that psychic change, I believe, with the DMT that gives you that, spins the world upside down as you see it, and then you live a life through a different path. You come out of a different gate, you know what I mean? The gateway to heaven, mate. You know what I mean?
The God molecule.
Yeah.
The God molecule, that's what they call it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It connects you with your higher self.
If you're feeling down, the Changa ain't going to make you feel good.
No, that's what I'm saying. You're trying to that would be old habits, taking a drug to try and change how you feel.
It's going to be
Gonna have a bad trip.
Yeah, it's not gonna be like.
You got to be in the right space to do it as well, like, I believe as well. You know what I mean? Like, you've either got to be willing to give up the life what you fucking been living.
Yeah, a lot of people can't do that.
You know what I'm saying? And that's I see so many people in recovery that doing this because they're so benefited. You know what I mean? Because they relapsed. They couldn't get the 12 steps. People would.
How many times did I come with you to AA? I must have come about 12 times.
Yeah.
Different times.
Different meetings, CA meetings, different, you know what I mean?
Meditation meetings.
You know what I'm saying?
Nothing worked for me. Like, all I thought is, I'm not that bad. I'm alright. Do you know what I mean? I'm alright. These people are worse than me. And it made me feel alright about myself. Like, and then I won't go for a little while, and then I'd have one drink, then I'd have one drink in a packet, then I'd be out all night, do you know what I mean? And then I'm back in it again, you know, like, but it wasn't all at once, it'd be phased back in.
Yeah.
Whereas this, what I'm phasing in is things that I've got a new normal. This is
healthy, happy things in life, you know, what you get enjoyment from, whether it be a brisk walk in the fucking bar, jumping in a freezing cold pool. You know what I'm saying? You would have asked me 9 months ago if I was doing that. And in recovery, I'd have said, like, bollocks at mine. I ain't doing that. I love it. Hate it and love it. Yeah. These are the things. Because I know it kills my ego. Like, it shuts it down. It shuts it down because I know I can do it. But my ego is telling me, I don't want to do it. You want to be in
every morning before I get in that cold shower, my ego's going, you stand up bathroom, babe. Once you get under that water, it's like,
and then once you've got that 30 seconds out of the way, it's heaven. It's like, you don't even feel it, and then you concentrate on your breathing. And these are things that I wouldn't have done if I wouldn't have done that.
Because you're maintaining.
I wouldn't have known it. You know what I mean? It found me. That's what I find with things now. They find you.
Absolutely.
You don't need.
I think it was meant to be.
You don't need to look for things. If you sit with things, the answers will come eventually.
All the answers inside, mate.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Your intuition will tell you what you need to do. And the thing is, you need to start listening to your gut and not your head.
It's your chakras as well.
Get the thoughts out of your head and listen to your gut.
Yeah, that's source energy, isn't it? That's source energy in there.
Yeah.
Like your chakras and that I've learned about.
And the intuition is like a muscle as well. It's like the more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Yeah.
And the more you suppress it, the weaker it gets. Do you know what I mean? It's like a muscle. If you don't use it, it gets weak.
That's what you get through meditation. I find that intuition. You can know what someone's going to say before they said it at the end. Does it make sense? You know, like you know, it's powerful stuff, isn't it? You know. I think it should be taught to like the younger kids and that in mainstream schools.
They do it in Finland. They teach the kids. They do meditation before they start.
And I guarantee you, I bet
they've got better results.
I bet in teenage years, depression and things like that are a lot lower out there than what they are over here because they've got given tools to help with changing their mindset. You know what I'm saying? In school, you're taught to read and write, and that's it. Like get as good grades as you can. You've got to do that to get a good job, to do this, to do that. But how many adults in life are trying to find happiness? Do you know what I'm saying? And have a mindfulness, I should say now.
But they don't because the whole system is set.
Yeah.
It's built on that.
Low vibration.
They want you to be in low vibration, so you look for things outside yourself to make you happy.
Yeah.
The whole system's built on it.
Yeah.
Schools to set you up to do 9 to 5 for the rest of your life.
Yeah. So schools to get you ready to do a 9 to 5, so you sit there chasing things outside yourself.
They want compliant
working to buy shit that you don't need.
Yeah.
That you think's gonna make you happy.
That's what I'm saying. Finding that eternal happiness.
Yeah, to impress people you don't like. Yeah. To fit in against people that it's mad.
It'd be epic, mate. Like, you know what I mean? You know, I was never taught any of this. You have taught me loads in the last.
They used to us as well,
but yeah,
you know,
teach each other that, and that's the beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You don't stop learning. Like life is a spiral. And, this is what I read in a book somewhere. Life's a spiral. But when we get stuck in a low vibration, we get stuck on one of the circles, and we have to find a way to break into the next in a circle to get to our endpoint. Our endpoint's the centre of the circle, and we get stuck on the outside ring. Do you know what I mean? And we don't never start making our way towards the centre.
We're remembering.
Yeah,
That's what we do. Remembering it.
Yeah.
Everything's coming back to us.
Remembering what we are.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's why we do these things. Because remembering, that's why we need to do these things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We lost our way in. It's like people back in the day got to the point where they were connected. We just got so far.
Yeah, disconnected.
we've got rubber on our feet disconnecting us from the earth, so we're not grounding ourselves.
It's all coming back to us. As we go further, it's all going to come back to us.
That's
the
what
things we need to do, more stuff we're going to need to do, whatever's going to happen to get us to the point where we're going to be off. Yeah, 10 years, whatever long it takes. As kids get older. You know, that's going to work, we'll be off somewhere. Living in the fucking field. Huts.
Yeah, you know it.
Off the land, mate.
That's the dream.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah. I think they're rounding off quite nice. Yeah, man. I've got a couple of questions though. Like, people who are thinking about it, what would you suggest they do? Like, the people who are thinking about taking DMT and coming on the journey.
Research.
Do some research on it.
If they're thinking about it, then it's like there should be that it comes into your life for a reason, mate. Like, I started researching it before I knew that these guys had done it, and then I heard that they'd done it, and I was like, "What? You've done that? Like, oh, how do I do it?" And there was one guy I knew, he was doing it for people, but he'd never done it with us. And then when we done it, he half had the ump that we did it without him. Do you know what I mean? But if you're thinking about doing it, then it's going to find its way to you.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
I didn't know nothing about it, and I think that with me as a person, I'm glad I did, and all I see was Connor's eyes lit up, and I said, I want what you've got.
The more we're understanding it,
But that's the ripple effect.
People feel it.
Doing yourself well.
I don't know, because see, for me, like, you done it, I researched it, and my curiosity just.
Yeah, but we didn't know nothing really then. Now we understand it more. The more you understand it, or trying to understand
But
it.
the thing is, you can't understand it until you've done it.
Yeah, I know, yeah, that's what I'm saying, but
You can do all the research in the what, like, I watched Joe Rogan and Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson said he cried like a baby. He said he was everything and nothing, and all of these things. He's saying that about how he lived in fear. Mike Tyson lived in fear. Do you know what I mean? He's fucking big heavyweight champion of the world. He's I looked up to him from my whole childhood. Do you know what I mean? He lived in fear. And when I heard that was I didn't realise I lived in fear, and that made me think about my anger. It was a response to something, not an actual emotion. Do you know what I mean? It's a response to an emotion. Do you know what I mean? And it was my curiosity. And then I heard Richard went away and he done it. That was before you done it. He went away with Fish and Graber.
That's right, yeah.
yeah, I'd done it by then.
Had you? Yeah, but I was already looking at him before. I didn't even know you'd done it. I didn't know. I thought Dylan was going to do it with me. Richard introduced me to Dylan, and when I turned up, he said he was going to do it up Tony's house. He was there. I didn't even know you'd ever done it. But yeah, it's just if you're looking into it, you probably need ready to have a
Find the right people. Find the right people to do it.
You've got to be comfortable with the people you do it with as well. That's very important. Like, if you're not comfortable, because you have to let go.
You're letting go of some stuff as well, isn't it? You know what I'm saying?
You've got to go through.
You've got to submit.
Yeah.
And the way I describe it is like being on the biggest wave, but just letting yourself go, and then you're going to be alright. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're going to float.
You let it take you and let it do its thing.
Yeah.
The wave realised he was the ocean.
You need that, but you need that bookiness. You need that fear.
Yeah.
That mind relationship, you need that.
I wasn't scared. I wasn't scared until I done it.
Jack was scared, wasn't he? He had this, he was going through.
But I wasn't scared because I knew I had to change. I knew I had to change something. Like I could not go on because I wanted. My missus would have left me with what happened with her dad, and I had to change because I had to be there for her. And the only way I could be there for her, the only way she'd let me be there for her, is if I stopped being that angry guy. Do you know what I mean? Like stopped being blowing up every time something didn't really go my way. And even though I wasn't drinking, I knew that I'd been anger management. That didn't work. Well, it gave me. It started me on the path. But yeah, I knew something had to change. That was what. That was me. Like I needed to a reset, and that's what it was. It was a reset button. I'm still me. I still react not positively sometimes. Like I'm not perfect. But I'm progressing, and it's about progress, not perfection.
Yeah, you're aware of where you're going wrong, and you can learn from that.
Yeah, I'm remedying it. Like each little overreaction is less and less and less and less and less and less, and I'm able to deal with my emotions as and when they arise. I allow myself to feel now, and yeah, I needed that.